Hi everybody. We want to start with a short pitch so everybody gets the chance to present herself and talk a bit about their companies. Tina, would you start?
Sure. So, my name is Tina Klüwer. I'm CTO and co-founder of Paulamind. My background is in research, so I've done like 10 years of investigating natural language processing systems, mostly chatbots and other conversational systems. And then I'm trying to get the next slide. Yeah, here it is. So, and then like 1 year ago, a little bit more than 1 year ago, I founded Parlamind, a Berlin-based startup, together with Christian Wolf, a former e-commerce entrepreneur, Nuria Bertomeu Castello, and Tobias Lehmann. And our vision is to build a channel-agnostic, learning conversational artificial intelligence for customer care communication. I'm going to talk a little bit more about our motivation. So, what is hard on customer care? Customer care is not an easy task. There are several things that you need to keep into. So, in general, you see that what's happening here. You see that usually customer care teams get a lot of messages. Answering all these messages is time-consuming and costly. On the other hand, managers and customer care team leaders usually try to reduce the cost in their team. And customers, on the other hand, expect a very high quality and fast reply to their issues and requirements, usually mostly optimally at any time. Also, scaling customer care divisions is quite hard. You may have differences in your needs. Maybe you have a successful marketing campaign or you have a Christmas trading. So, how can you scale your customer care in an easy way? And lastly, customer care, the messages coming into your customer care inbox usually are very valuable data, but it's kind of hard to detect what's in there because it's hard to get the messages out of the customer care team, and getting all metrics from what are the big problems for the customers is hard to get because your team is actually already overloaded with work. So what we do is we present Paulamind. Paulamind is an artificial team member for customer care for the repetitive and simple tasks. Paulamind is able to react fast and all at any time. It is able to scale with your needs. It gives insight into your data, and it finally, of course, reduces the cost. How does it look like? Our solution provides you two different things. The first one is the dashboard, in which you can have a look at what your end customers actually send to you. We analyze all incoming messages, have some linguistic and machine learning processes on that, and then come up with a categorization of contact reasons. Also, to sentiment, and we can show trends and alerts. The next evolutionary step of our software is to be able to also interact with customers and the customer care team. So what we do is we suggest answer text that can be accepted by customer care team member. We fill in necessary information such as a last name or a first name, and we also will be able to answer incoming messages completely autonomously. That's about Paulamind. Thanks a lot.
Well, interesting. Good. Hello, my name is Fabian Vest. I'm an entrepreneur and investor here from Berlin. Before I launched my own venture capital firm a couple of years ago, I've been involved in a couple of other startups like Team Europe, Delivery Europe, Point 9 Capital, roughly around 35 startups I supported or co-founded in the last years. In 2014, I started my own venture firm called Asgard, where I have a pure focus on artificial intelligence. So, this is abstract as usual, so just to give an example, one of our portfolio companies is Paulamind, yes, next to here. So from my perspective, Paulamind is an agent which you will use in customer support to do all the emails you don't want to do anymore. And at the end, having one software with multiple personalities, because it will deal with every one of your customers on a very individual basis. So you need one piece of software, or one, you rent it once, and then you have multiple agents doing all the stuff you don't want to do. Another example I've invested in is the company Accelerated Dynamics, based in London, and they have a mission control for drones. So if you want to control 1 to 100 drones at the same time, use their software to give them missions to say them, well, this is a goal, this is a premise you have to protect, this is something you have to establish, this is something like you have a nuclear power plant you want to protect and you want to have drones all the way around it. So for this, to control drones, to control moving objects without having someone all the time there, you need a software. Another example is here from Berlin, the company Micropsy Industries, which are building cognitive systems, and you use these cognitive systems, for example, for industries. So you have a complex process, they take the data, then they run a simulation with the machine, yes, offline, then they use neural nets to optimize with this data a process, and then they have a control unit which you implement in the process again, which means AI is able to manage your processes. AI is able to manage these kind of processes which are too complex and too difficult for us that we don't understand them anymore. Also, you can use the software, for example, to train robots to learn. So robots today, they are pretty stupid because you have to program them before what they have to do. But with their software and other companies in these fields, you can teach robots to learn new tasks with humans. All this just as an example. I also host a Rise of AI, an artificial intelligence conference once in a year to provide a platform here in Berlin, similar to Hub, yes, to bring all these talents here to connect investors and researchers and scientists and entrepreneurs together. My last words is that artificial intelligence is a very important topic to keep in mind because it could be the last invention of humankind. On the bad end, we have someone like Bill Gates and Elon Musk warning us, because if we once reach, for example, superintelligence, it could mean humans won't exist anymore. But it also can mean that with the help of artificial intelligence, we will have a future where we have to work less, where we live longer, we have a safer and happier life, because machine intelligence is supporting humans and is liberating us to be even more human. Thank you.
I have to wait for the phone. My name is Stefan Korsch, and I'm one of the founder of the Smacc. And can you correct the sound? It's a little bit more echo. I'm one of the founder of the Smacc, and I'm responsible for the product development and the IT we are doing. From earlier jobs, we all had the experience that SMBs has problems with the control of the financial processes, and that doing the accounting is a real mess for them. They have to do a lot of work with everything. I can't see this, but it's no problem, because the problem is the poor financial processes. All the current processes are paper-based. It works like 100 years ago. You have to handle all these bills, you have to sign things, you have to stamp them, and you have to order them, you have to sort them, to send them to the tax advisor, and you have to control the financial actions you have to take. You have to pay bills, and you have to be aware of clients that don't pay the bills. A very large scale of SMBs don't have the power or the time or the focus to install a technical solution that helps them, like ERP system. And if they do so, they have still the problem that they have to handle the data, that you have to type in all the information you need to handle these ERP systems. So they switch over to Excel sheets and other materials they think about it. And if you have a look at the statistics, around about 75% of all insolvencies happened because of poor control of financial processes. So the solution from our side is, on the one hand, to define a clear process an easy-to-use interface. And in the background, we have artificial intelligence to do all this heavy lifting work that the clients don't get in contact with accounting or figuring out if the bill is right or wrong or not, and if it's from the lawyer perspective correct or not. So there are some drivers. I switch over to come to an end. We use the artificial intelligence in 3 points. The one thing is that we figure out all the information that is written on a document. So we interpretate the information of all documents we get, and then we decide, is it necessary to do the tax advisor stuff, it's from the legal perspective and so on. On the other side, we have algorithms that are caring about matching the bank transactions, because it is necessary that you have a feeling, real-time feeling, what is paid and what is not. And the third thing is that we have an expert system besides, so it's a combination of learning algorithm and expert system, where we can fill in all the information from tax advisors. So I'll come to an end. We provide a one-stop solution of financial management and transparency to our clients.
So thanks a lot for these presentations. Great work, that really sounds amazing. And now let's have a few questions to discuss in more detail. So Tina, let's start with you. I'm a big fan myself from especially computational linguistic, any kind which is human-like thinking AI topic. So that's why I did my PhD in that area. Maybe you presented already how you make use of AI in order to really sort of enhance the customer service with AI, that it's automatically reading emails and categorizing what's going on from the customer feedback, and also addressing to the support to help them in lifting or routing the different messages to the right person. So how can you imagine the future? Would there be any future in terms of real interaction that the customer directly chats, so to say, with this part of AI? How do you see that?
Yeah, sure. So our vision is definitely to build a system that in the future, in the end, will be able to have a conversation with the end customer itself without human support, but not for all incoming questions. So we have to see that, of course, artificial intelligence is powerful and is going to be even more powerful. But the way to go until we reach the point in which we can have every conversation with a human is similar to with the human, with the machine, it's a long way to go. So our vision is to come up with more and more conversations that we can have with the machine. So this is why we focus on the simpler tasks, so that we can actually somehow support the humans to have this additional team member taking care of the stuff which is not that complicated.
Okay, cool, great. And great ambition for the future. So, one question for you, Fabian. You presented your venture fund and said that you specialize solely in artificial intelligence. Is it hard to find these kind of startups in Berlin? Because from the background, I think it's very important that at least one founder has a sophisticated background in AI, be it a PhD or self-made. But what's your experience in that area?
So what I observed personally is that the AI companies, first, 90% of the startups out there who claim to have AI, they don't. They do it because it's hype today, it's fancy, and because everyone expects this. And just because you implement a little bit of machine learning doesn't mean you have artificial intelligence inside. Additional artificial intelligence is always the goal you want to reach. Once you have reached it, it's not AI anymore, it's just machine learning or expert system, something like this. But what I figured out is the stronger a hub and the more mature a hub is, the more teams you have who are experienced enough to go for the bigger questions. Because, for example, what Paulamind is doing, it's very, very hard. It's not just run an e-commerce company to scale it, or trying to build a mobile app and to do some marketing for it, which is hard on its way. So it's very hard. So you see most teams in London, in Silicon Valley, and in Berlin, but they don't come to Berlin because Berlin is the AI hub. They come in Berlin because Berlin is a wonderful city to live. It's convenient. It has a good ecosystem, and it has access to the to the customers which you have. Since AI is a lot of B2B focus, yes, you need a lot of enterprises to buy your software, and therefore it's easier to be here, especially since the Brexit. Yes, so we have them here because Berlin has a strong growing ecosystem, not the other way around.
But so you definitely believe that Berlin can be the next AI hub, or what do you think in terms of events, or what would it take to make Berlin the next AI hub?
Well, AI is needed there where you already have, first, a lot of data, second, a lot of processing power. So AI is needed in these companies who already have a strong digitalization. Yeah, so if you go for offline businesses, let's say oil, gas industry, you don't need AI because they don't have big data, they don't have IoT, they don't need this yet because they are not prepared for this in their mindset. If you go, for example, for e-commerce, this is already very virtual, so you put AI on top of it. So I would say AI founders should go there where their customers are. Yes, and also where they're able to attract the talent. We don't have enough talents here because this is a very research-heavy topic, and especially in Germany, they are spread everywhere. So being in a hub, it's easier to gather talent and to get the money for it. But the money is convenient too. Investors only fly into one city and not the second or third city within a country. So when you're in Berlin, yes, you get everything which we need for having a strong ecosystem, you need for AI companies too. And we have this. It's just a question of time to grow it.
That's true. Also what you said in terms of data, so with Adventure, we're working on the fact that also like industries, like oil companies or steel companies, that they would really digitalize and be ready at another stage for sophisticated AI improvements. So that's why I chose to switch to Adventure. A short question for you, Stefan. So yesterday you also told me at the conference dinner that you could imagine partnering with banks in order to promote this awesome product where you have this application for SMBs that actually, in order to give them an enhanced like whole banking, accounting system, which also helps them to like monitor their liquidity and things like that. How difficult for you is it to not like have the hassle that banks are afraid that then those small SMBs, like those SMBs would then only be on your platform and they would lose the face or the direct contact to the customers? What's your experience so far?
I have to take a step back because I think the question is a little bit different because on the one hand, at the moment we have the banks. The banks knows everything about the bank transaction going on the bank account of a client. Mm-hmm. In the current situation, our clients have more than one account, one bank account, not only one bank, more banks, and they use different payment funnels, they use Amazon payments and everything. Mm-hmm. So it's not easy for a bank or for the client to get an overview about the financial situation. On the other hand, you have the tax advisors or tax authorities. They have a clear view about everything that is going on in a company. So you have a picture of the business there. But this picture is at least 2 months old or older, so it's not the thing you see at the moment. And now we are able to match these views together because we have access to all the banks, we have access to all the bookings and all the transactions the client is doing. So it's possible for the client to have an overview about everything he's doing in real time. So, and then the client is able to decide who should see this information too. Because maybe he needs, because of a liquidity problem, he needs a bank credit or something like that. And the bank asks, hey, show me how your business is running, and he can show this in a full view. And this is the reason it enables every part to get a full view of the current situation of a company if the clients want that.
Sounds like a great win-win case.
Yeah, it's a win-win case from all positions, from the tax advisors, from the banks, and from the client perspective.
Yeah.